out for my morning walk to give Bella some exercise. It's quite early and there's not many people around, and importantly, in this long stretch of dog park, there are no big dogs to hassle and upset Belle. They're all just playing, but they do give her a fright and chase after her a lot. So I stayed up late last night. I've got this new routine. It's kind of like reinstatement of an old routine actually, where I'm supposed to be in bed, lights out by 9:30, so that I can get up at 5 a.m. when the dog's awake anyway, and get the day off to a start. I'm trying to front load my day instead of back load it. By that I mean get the important things and key work done in the morning. But I got caught up with working on a client deliverable and just kept going last night. Then wanted to get some of my daily routine work done, my daily review, my daily planning that I hadn't stopped to do. I've recently had something passed on from my grandmother, who unfortunately passed away about 18 months ago, and my auntie had kept this for me. She'd divided up a stack of my grandmother's stuff between the kids and grandchildren. It's a tiny little teacup. How sweet is it? Next to a photo taken of me and my family on the day I joined the Air Force in 1985. Also young and fresh-faced. And a vase made out of a tree stump that was a gift from a team I worked with when I lived on a property near Canberra in the mid-1990s. So some really nice mementos there. You know, I don't have a lot of stuff anymore. I don't keep much in terms of physical possessions. I did the whole sort of minimalist in progress, if I can say that, because my place isn't classically minimalist, but I got rid of a lot of stuff in the 2 to 3 years before I did my road trip last year. So the stuff that I have is here because it sparks particular joy and or it's functional, and that's an example of 3 little pieces that spark a lot of joy for me. So having joined Fitness First, I've been working out every day, doing something, and the new diet, basically a vegan diet, lots of good healthy food, getting the right nutritional balance, but you know what, you'd have to work hard to get fat on a vegan diet. Just had my 2-yearly breast screen. So for women over 50 in Australia, which yes, I fall into that category now, the government provides free breast screening every 2 years as a way of identifying breast cancer early and treating it. So it's good to stay on top of this stuff so you don't need to worry about anything. So what I'd like to talk about from a work perspective today is my professional development mentoring program and how that's ticking along, because I hit a little milestone today. So I've put together professional development planning session. It was originally 1 hour, but my testing has demonstrated it needs to be 1 hour and a quarter. And in this session we look at a person's highest priority professional development goal and take some time looking at their motivation around that, and also their current versus target level for that goal. We look at development activities and a range of approaches that they might use specifically around that goal, identifying what experiences they could use and how they could reflect on those experiences and set intentions around those experiences to extract the most learning. We look at the people that they could learn from and with, and we also look at investigation of resources and courses. Sometimes we can identify specific resources and courses. Sometimes I just work with them to set them up to know how to find good quality resources and courses. And then finally we look at support and sustainment of your learning. We look at habits, we look at mindset, and we look at people who can help provide accountability and encouragement outside of specifically people you might be learning from, like mentors or coaches. So my goal is that by the end of a session somebody has basically a draft development plan, perhaps with a few gaps they need to go away and do some investigation and fill, but a draft development plan for their highest priority current development goal, and that they've got an approach and a methodology that they can use to then keep developing goals into the future, professional development goals. It also gives them an introduction to ways of learning other than courses that are appropriate, that they can take control of, that suit our modern networked digital era. So it's about future-proofing their learning and setting up good learning habits for an ongoing basis as well. To help promote the program, I ran a promotion competition for 2 people to win a complimentary session. So I've got those 2 people booked in now for their complimentary session, and I did 4 trial sessions. So the trial sessions were for free on the basis that these were people I trusted, I was relatively close to, and they could give me good feedback about the program and talk to me about how I might develop it further or use it in other ways. I've also got a couple of people booked in. I gave gift certificates to some people I've been close to and worked with in the past as a thank you. So I've got 2 sessions booked in there as well. So I got good feedback, and one of the ideas that I'm actually actioning is to do a paid webinar, a paid group webinar, which is kind of like an overview of some of the key techniques and tools and approaches, but then offer a slightly discounted one-on-one mentoring session at the end of the webinar, as well as put the feelers out, get expressions of interest for a series of 4 follow-on paid webinars looking in more detail. Yep, so the 4 follow-on webinars would look at each of the different approaches to learning, that is learning from people, learning from investigation, learning from experience, as well as the habits around sustaining. And that would be a paid series. If I can get enough people interested, I would develop and run those. So you've got to give things a try, right? So I use Zoom Webinar for my webinars, and you can integrate it with PayPal to arrange payment for webinars. So I'm trying to set that up today and doing a little bit around that. I haven't quite cracked back at that, but I will get there. I want to get this webinar posted, start promoting it definitely this week. It's Wednesday. Really like to get it out there by tomorrow and start promoting it. But the big news, the exciting news, I've actually today gotten my first 2 paid bookings for mentoring sessions. So I know this is gaining traction, and all the energy I've been putting into developing it, trialing it, promoting it, the posts I've been making online about professional development, the Learning Uncut podcast professional development special episode, which went up yesterday, that's at least reaching some people who think they're going to get value out of working with me. So I'm really pleased to see that. I'm sure I'll find a way to craft a profitable product out of the work I'm doing here.